Sinovac and its South African partner NUMOLUX are manufacturing the Coronavac vaccine in the country. Coronavac is an inactive vaccine, much like some of the vaccines given for protection against childhood illnesses. The current coronavirus vaccines, such as those manufactured by Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, are based on the messenger RNA technology. Here to talk to us about this technology and the coronavirus vaccine rollout, I'm joined by NUMOLUX chairperson and CEO Hilton Klein, as well as Kevin Zhang, Sinovac's Senior Director of International Business. Gentlemen, good evening. Thank you so much for your time and joining us tonight here in Focus. Firstly, let's talk about the relationship between Sinovac and NUMOLUX. How does this come about, and how does this benefit, I suppose, the fight against the pandemic? Kevin? Kevin, let's start with you, Hilton. Hilton, yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, Thabo, and good evening to the listeners. NUMOLUX Group and Sinovac entered into a strategic partnership, and NUMOLUX is the in-country partner for Sinovac here in South Africa. And we have, through our clinical research program between Sinovac and NUMOLUX, already created over 300 jobs in South Africa, and specifically in the healthcare sector. So we are very excited about that. We've also set up phase 1 of our vaccine manufacturing plant in the IDZ in Saldanha, and that is a very exciting program in Saldanha for the people of that region, where we will create at least over 1,000 jobs in the first phase. First phase is completed. We're now moving into phase 2 and phase 3, so that we can start immediately with the manufacturing at this specific plant. And this is the exciting news for the people of Africa, especially the children of Africa. At this specific plant, we will not just focus on COVID-19 vaccines, but also on polio, hepatitis, mumps, chickenpox, all the different types of vaccines that, as you know, there's a number of diseases plaguing the African continent. And we would have a range of different vaccines, pediatric vaccines included, that will help the people of Africa, in particular, the people of South Africa.
Yeah. Kevin, this particular vaccine is not mRNA-based, but rather it's an inactivated vaccine. What does that mean, particularly in the context of vaccine hesitancy and the current options that we have in South Africa?
Okay, yes, you're right. Actually, Coronavac is not like mRNA. It's not kind of a technology. We call it inactivation. Actually, Coronavac is produced by using a classic inactivation technology. You know that there was other similar vaccines, like inactivated polio vaccine, like hepatitis vaccines, which are also very widely used in the world. And then you know that like this kind of inactivated vaccines was procured by some non-government organizations like the UNICEF, like the PAHOs, and then it's worldwide for many years. So this is the first. The second is about the safety. Just because we're using the classic inactivation technology, so all these inactivated vaccines show the very good safety profile, so especially for the children group. And that is the reason why, you know, that we are conducting the clinical trial, and then we are planning, or we're expecting to get approval very soon, in the next 1 to 2 months, so that Coronavac can be used for the both adult and also for the children group. And then the third reason is, this kind of inactivated vaccine, Coronavac, is very easy to be stored. It's just, the temperature is just 2 to 8. It's very normal, not like the other vaccines that need to be stored in the -20, -40, even -60. So it's very hard to store. So I think that is the reason. The main differences.
Yeah.
What I say. And then so far, Sinovac has already supplied totally 2.8 billion doses to the world. Actually, I will say that the total population in the world is just around 7 billion. It's around 1/3 of the total population in the world. And then for the pediatric, we also supplied and used totally 206 million doses. So that is, the information what I would like to share about of a Coronavac Inactivated and also the mRNA vaccine. Thank you.
And as far as the Kevin, still with you, the final results of the trials on pediatric clinical trials that you've done, when are those going to be released, and what are the findings as far as effectiveness in dealing with the virus?
Okay, so regarding the clinical study, actually Sinovac started collaboration with our strategic partner NUMOLUX since last September. So this is a multinational screening trial phase 3, and the total target participants is 16,000. So far we have totally 11,000 participants has already been recruited, and especially in South Africa, the participant is already more than 4,000. So far we're very pleased to see that everything goes very well. And then we are just expecting the clinical data in the next few weeks. So once we have this data available, immediately we will submit all this data to the SAPRA to apply for the use authorization. So we hope that after we submit, we do the submission in the next 1 to 2 months, our Coronavac for pediatric use can be approved very soon, before the winter is coming. Probably, I'm afraid that the next wave of COVID normally, coming with the winter season. So better we get it ready in advance. So before the winter is coming, the product has already been approved, and then there are enough stock to be used to just give one more choice to the parents, to the kids in South Africa. Thank you.
Hilton, do you have capacity for that turnaround? It's in the next 2 to 3 months that this should be up and running.
Definitely, we do have capacity. At this vaccine manufacturing plant, we're looking at setting up 100 million vaccines per annum, and that is Coronavac vaccines. For the first phase of it, we will do fill and finish, and then we will start with a process of empowering the people of South Africa, in particular, the pharmaceutical sector. We're already in talks with the University of Western Cape and some other universities to train some of our students in specific fields. And Sinovac is also bringing a skill set to South Africa where they will transfer skills from China, from Sinovac, onto the people of South Africa, where they will be working on the manufacturing plants. So yes, definitely capacity of 100 million vaccines that we can manufacture at the specific plant when it is completed. And as I said, this is vaccines manufactured in Africa, for Africa. And this is contributing to the strengthening of the South Africa's capacity, as the President requested, for us to put all hands on deck to look at manufacturing vaccines through research, development, and actual manufacturing in country, in South Africa, for Africa. So we exactly doing that, Thabo. In actual fact, as Kevin said, we want to give the people of Africa another choice of a very, very good vaccine. We obtained emergency use approval for Coronavac by SAPRA with conditions, and that is already done. Now we're doing the clinical studies, pediatric clinical studies, and we are very excited in what we are currently seeing, in how it is reacting to the children of South Africa. And yes, very soon we will be contributing to job creation in that area of manufacturing.
Is this a parallel process to the National Vaccine Manufacturing Campus? And how different, and how are you collaborating with that work that the President launched?
We're definitely collaborating with everybody that is manufacturing vaccines in South Africa in particular. As I said, this will just strengthen the capacity to manufacture vaccines and different types of vaccines. And that is what South Africa currently needs. We just recently visited the Premier of the Western Cape together with Sinovac, And he mentioned to us that TB is a growing concern. And there's more people dying of TB than COVID-19. And we're also looking at manufacturing different types of vaccines that will help South Africa, in particular, and the African continent. At the end of the day, we need to protect the future of Africa, and that is our children. And we're putting all hands on deck to make sure that we have vaccines manufactured in Africa for the people of Africa. And Sinovac, through China and their programs, is assisting us in doing that.
That's it. Kevin, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on tonight. Talk to us about this new technology. That's Hilton Klein of NUMOLUX and Sinovac's Kevin Zhang. Then bringing the technology before winter, they say, of this new technology of vaccine called Coronavac vaccines into South Africa.